Hello everyone, this is Ryan from Amnesty. I'm going to show you the playstyle of Boudica, or the Celtics. They have Druidic Lore, which is their trait name. What it does is +1 faith per city with an adjacent unimproved forest, and a bonus increases to +2 faith in cities with 3 or more adjacent unimproved forest tiles. Essentially it means you can't in the beginning of the game you don't want to do anything with your forests. You want to keep them. The best play style I would recommend as Boudica would be faith driven. Definitely go with religion. I know there's not necessarily a religious win, but you could use religion to win predominantly a cultural victory or a diplomatic victory, and even to an extent scientific, but not so much. I would definitely not really recommend domination with Boudica. Granted, you can dominate in the beginning with the Pictish warrior, but it will be very, very early. But after the early period, you're not really going to dominate too well with the Celts. The biggest problem is going to be the forest tiles later on, because eventually you will need to improve on them, but you have to take advantage of what you're given. Generally, as Boudica, you're going to start near a forested area. With that said, you're going to want to keep it unimproved, so that way you get lots of faith. Hopefully, you have lots of the forest in your borders. You know, your culture expands and your borders expand, so you get more forest, you get more faith. And with that, you're going to want to spread the faith like wildfire. You're going to want to bring it everywhere around you. Anybody that's near you, you want them to be on your side, or your religion, I should say. With that being said, that's how you would win a diplomatic victory. If almost everybody is your religion, they're going to like you already because they're part of your religion. But of course, conflicts arise. They find a religion and they want to spread theirs. But at that point, if it's early enough, you could just fight them and get them out. Have your buddies that's your religion. You could all go gang up on them, kill them, oust the religion, and boom, you're good. Anyhow, the Celts have two unique, one unique unit and a unique building. I'm Irish and everything, but I do not know how to pronounce that silly word. I know Pictish warrior and Hall. Whatever. Anyway, I'll show you both. Show you what they do. Alright, so the Pictish warrior. It's 56 production or 112 faith. For once, it's actually not a bad idea to buy these guys with faith, because you're going to produce lots and lots of faith. That's the biggest thing as Boudica, is faith. Anyway, the combat is 11, and its movement is 2. And then the two benefits of them is foreign lands bonus, basically meaning that when you're in foreign lands, you have a bonus against them. There's no movement cost to pillage, meaning you can pillage like a madman. You can go attack, pillage the farm, move, pillage again, and it's not counted as a turn per se. Anyway, they replace the spearmen, so you'll have this very early on. You won't need iron to make these guys, which is very, very big. And then also an important note is that it will earn 50% of an opponent's strength as faith for kills. So these guys are kind of your faith generators. So you have a bunch of these, kill a bunch of units, and you'll generate even more faith. So, as always, the Celts, definitely big with faith. You need to utilize it if you're playing them. And then the unique building, not even going to try to say that again, but a hall, a special hall. Anyway, it costs 200 production, 2 maintenance, and 3 happiness. And then the culture is 4. So it's a very nice building. It's in the Renaissance era that you would end up getting to build this. It replaces the Opera House. Normally an Opera House will only get you the culture, 4 culture per turn, whereas this will actually give you 3 happiness, which is huge because, again, since this is a special building, you're generally going to want to build this, especially if you're going for a cultural victory. It's got 4 culture per whatever hall, Kydal hall, whatever. So normally you'd only get the faith, but since you're getting happiness for this, you're going to want to build it, because in any game you always are struggling with happiness, you know, whatever civilization you are. So it's a huge benefit. basically giving you an incentive, even better one, to go with a cultural victory. Now that we have that said, I'll show you what social policy I recommend you to have while you play the Celts. Alright, I'm going to show you the social policies, but before I do that as well, I just started a game up here, and as you can see, there's forested areas all around me, and this is where I'm starting off at. Normally when you start off with the Celts, you're going to kind of be in a colder area. Not all the time, but again, generally you're always going to be surrounded by forests, which will generate you faith, which is a huge thing. Anyway, going back to social policies, what I recommend you to do is to definitely go into the piety track. Piety increases your religion. It helps you build shrines and temples at half the usual time. And then if you do get the whole piety track, it will give you a 20% discount on all purchases of religious units and buildings with faith. Plus it also gets you 3 gold and 3 culture on holy sites. That's what you can build if you have a great profit instead of adding onto your religion. So that's big, because you're going to get a lot of great profits, because again, as Celts, you really must emphasize faith. That's their biggest thing. And then also an important note is the religious tolerance. The last thing in the piety tree reduces the culture cost of future policies by 10%. Huge again, because you will be doing religion generally if you really want to utilize the Celts. And with that, you can easily win a cultural victory just based on getting this whole piety track. But anyhow, that's the social policies. I hope you guys have enjoyed. And I'll just say diplomatic and cultural. Cultural being number 1 is what you should strive for. Diplomatic is number 2. I'd say scientific is 3rd, because you do have some benefits if you pick the right beliefs in faith or religion. And lastly, dominant. That one's not really, you could do it, but it'd be very difficult. You'd have to play on a small map, a dual setting, meet the person that you're playing with, I guess, and you could kill them off early on relatively easy. But more realistically, you play with a lot of people, play online, chances are you're not going to really do all that well in the beginning, and you're going to want to go more or less on the faith. So that's my 2 cents. Please rate, subscribe, and comment, guys, and check out my other videos.